on their travels to Asian countries, particularly China. Meanwhile, Oyo State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Bashir Bello, has disclosed that the state government has received some preventive equipment from the federal government as a proactive step towards checking the outbreak of Lassa fever in the state. Dr. Bello made the disclosure during an interview with Pensioners FM news crew shortly after featuring on the station's program.
When people are aware of a very clean environment, personal hygiene, avoidance of rodents in the house, and a way of preserving food so that rodents don't get into it, because the causative factor is actually the feces, and urine and defecation and whatever, of these rodents that carry the virus.
Dr. Bello further stressed the need for members of the public to take all necessary precautions to prevent the scourge of Lassa fever.
Thanks to God, the ministry, through the Director of Public Health here, Dr. Walilawa, had just received some equipments. We call them PPE, that is personal protective equipments, from the federal government, and that is what we are distributing to all necessary centers, and particularly our isolation department center, both at Jericho, Ring Road, and as well as the LATEC University Teaching Hospital at Obumasho.
On the coronavirus that is ravaging China and other parts of the world, Dr. Bello said Oyo State government is putting in place measures to ensure the state is not caught unawares. You're still on to news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Let's now talk some labor and pension stories. The president of the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council, Abdurraouf Adeniji, says labor is yet to be satisfied with the implementation of the new minimum wage of 30,000 naira in states, noting that 5 states are yet to begin negotiation. Speaking at an event held to launch the Nurses Now campaign in Abuja, Adeniji, who is also the president of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, said the council met in Bayelsa State to discuss several labor matters and that the leadership would meet again to review implementation in states. He added that they just concluded the minimum wage negotiations, but operations and regulations in public service must also conform to the minimum wage. The Nigeria Union of Pensioners NUP Oyo State Council has declared its full support for Governor Seyi Makine's administration. The pensioners made this declaration during an award ceremony organized by the Association of Retired Primary School Teachers Oyo State in honor of the State Secretary of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, Comrade Olusegun Abaton. Comrade Abaton, while addressing the retired primary school teachers, said the government has promised to pay gratuity between February and first week in March, and therefore deserves the support of the pensioners for all its kind gestures.
The government has promised that end of February to first or 2 weeks in March, another round of gratuity will be paid. Virtually every 3 months, gratuity for our pensioners will be paid. Coming from Egypt, what I mean by Egypt was that
Also speaking at the award ceremony, the acting chairman, NUP Oyo State Council, Chief Isiaka Abolade, commended the association for considering Comrade Abaton for the award, reiterating that the awardee is devoted to the nation.
Comrade Abaton is a wonderful man. I must confess to you, he's someone that loves others as he loves himself.
The chairman of the Association of the Retired Primary School Teachers, Joshua Kipelu, described Abaton as a selfless and accommodating man who has the interest of the union at heart.
We thank God for the life of Comrade Olusegun Abaton. He's someone that loves others as he loves himself.
Our correspondent Ayomide Ojenike reports that the pensioners used the occasion to announce that the chairmanship election of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, Oyo State Council, will come up in the first week of March. Meanwhile, thousands of people have again taken to the streets in France to protest against President Emmanuel Macron's proposed controversial pension reform plans. The Paris police chief criticized the very aggressive stance of some of the firefighters who have also been protesting alongside the workers' union. Since December, the country has been torn by protests as well as strikes organized by workers' union and by the Yellow Vest movement. The strikes began when Macron announced reforms that would simplify the existing pension system. Under the new rules, the worker will receive a lower pension if they were self-employed for a while or had health issues that prevented them from working for some period. You're still on to News Around the World on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Ibadan. Now on to some other stories. Kenya's High Court has halted the implementation of a new biometric registration system until data protection laws are enacted. The Kenya government had been collecting sensitive personal data, including fingerprints, family details, and even location details in the mandatory exercise. The government insisted the registration was mandatory, saying citizens would not be eligible to receive government services, including passports and birth certificates, unless they took part. But the High Court found that the collection of these private data was putting Kenyans at risk of suffering irreversible damage if the information is misused. The new coronavirus has been declared a global emergency by the World Health Organization, WHO, as the outbreak continues to spread outside China. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom said the main reason for this declaration is not what is happening in China, but what is happening in other countries. The concern is that it could spread to countries with weaker health systems. United States Democrats have been dealt a major blow in their efforts to call witnesses at President Trump's impeachment trial. They needed 4 Republicans to vote with them to allow witness testimony, but one of the few wavering senators said he would not support the measure. Lama Alexander said the Democrats had proved Trump acted inappropriately, but it was not an impeachable offense. The announcement paves the way for the possible acquittal of the president by the Senate. Authorities in the Australian Capital Territory ACT have declared a state of emergency as massive bushfires rage south of Canberra. It is the worst fire threat to the territory in nearly 2 decades, officials said. The main blaze in the territory's south is burning over more than 18,500 hectares. Residents in suburbs of Canberra have been urged to remain alert for potential evacuations. The ACT is now facing the worst bushfire threats since the devastating fires of 2003, Chief Minister Andrew Barr told reporters. News around the world is still continuing on Pensioners 106.7 FM, and we'll be back with entertainment and sports stories shortly. American singer, dancer, and beauty Max Entertainment CEO Ciara and her football quarterback husband Russell Wilson have both announced that they are expecting their 3rd child. The 34-year-old mom of 2, who looks like she'll put to bed any moment from now, shared on her Instagram page a picture of her bomb, which standing on rocks with the caption number 3. Meanwhile, Ciara shares a son, Future Jr., with her ex-fiancé, Future. And lastly, the National Basketball Association (NBA) will honor Kobe Bryant in next month's All-Star game in Chicago. Recall that Bryant, aged 41, and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, were among 9 people killed in a helicopter crash. The NBA has announced a new format for the game that will increase the level of competition, provide additional excitement, and make the outcome of every quarter count for charity. A new fourth quarter format will honor Los Angeles Lakers great and 5-time NBA champion Bryant. And before we go, please take this. Keep rodents away from your home. Embrace personal and environmental hygiene to avoid the spread of Lassa fever and coronal disease. To end news around the world, another look at the main stories. President Muhammadu Buhari and members of the National Security Council have met with security chiefs but failed to heed calls for their sack. Kenya's High Court has halted implementation of a new biometric registration system until data protection laws are enacted. The World Health Organization has declared the coronavirus a global emergency. And in sports, National Basketball Association (NBA) has said it will honor Kobe Bryant in next month's All-Stars game in Chicago. That ends news around the world, and for any information, please contact us on 08022373535 or 08121889462, or visit us at Pensioners House, Agbarigo, Onireke, Ibadan. The news editor is Yetunde Oke. And on behalf of the entire production crew, I am LAOLU. OLATUNBOSUN. Thanks for listening. Good afternoon.
Regina, how do you describe a good radio station?
Oh, it should educate, give information, and entertain.
You got it right, girl.
Yes, she really did. And the good news is, we have a radio station that gives it all, even more.
Wow, we want to know.
Pensioners FM 106.7 is the radio station. We broadcast to every nook and cranny with 3